come round, and hear the tale of lovers lost at sea. Every eve there was a man who drowned in a mug o' mead, braving some of Eastshade's coldest nights to take up post in the famed lighthouse. He was awaiting his love, you see, making sure the light was always shining, so she'd see her way back home. Years ago, his wife took to the seas, hoping to lay claim to a pile of sunken treasure. 'Twas the time of year when the storms grew more terrible with each passing week, but she swore it was the last time she'd take on such a risk. Although he hated to see her go, he stood at the dock and watched as she disappeared beyond the horizon. 'Twas the nature of their love, you see. They supported one another despite all odds. Well, the townsfolk thought him crazy. Ever since his wife was gone, he swore he heard his love cry out every nightly eclipse, wailing above the ruckus of the sea. It was a near inhuman sound. Oh, oh. One night, the poor man couldn't take it anymore, believing his love to be so near, but seeming so far. He swore he saw her trapped on a patch of rocks away from the shore. He cried out to her, "Alara! Alara!" "Oh! Oh!" was the reply. In his excitement, he hardly noticed the approaching storm. He tumbled down the hill from the lighthouse and took the first small fishing boat he found. That night, he sailed his fate. It wasn't long before the storm started raging, the waves higher and fiercer than they had ever been. "Alara!" he cried. "Oh!" the reply, nearly drowned out by the power of the sea. The man paddled faster. He was so close, catching glimpses of her stranded on those sharp rocks. His heart ached, and in his desperation he fell deaf and blind to the monstrous wave building above. Crashing down around him, the sea shattered his boat and sent the man deep below the surface. Waves swirled him round and round in a great salty tornado. He hardly knew which way was up. Just as his breath was fading away, a great flash of light burst through the sea. A light so brilliant, it shone through the ocean's darkest depths in a rainbow of colour. The light faded, and he couldn't believe his eyes. Alara was swimming straight for him. She pierced through the thrashing sea, and hundreds of small silvery fish swam round her in a cyclone. They swam faster and faster, the fish cycloning tighter around, until they fused to her body, changing her legs into one great flipper. In this form, she swam with the grace of a dolphin, her flipper propelling her down to her sinking love. Just before he would have drowned, this beauty of the sea grabbed him by the waist and shot straight out of the water with him in tow. As he surfaced, he gasped an enormous breath of air. The townspeople who had heard his cries watched from the shore, said it was the last time they ever saw of him. Away they swam, never to be seen again. That's what the optimists around here will tell you, and it's the version I choose to believe. There are others who say husband and wife were lost in the same patch of sea. The man was so overcome with grief, he sailed out to find her and was never seen again. Though these storytellers have a hint of optimism, they say that if you look at the nightly eclipse, you can see them reunited in those brief moments up in the heavens. Of course, if you hear a man yelling Alara or see a pair of merfolk out at sea, you let me know.